Hi, Zach.
Okay.
Uh, what were your emotions this offseason just seeing Christian leave? Obviously, you guys are so close, A, from a personal standpoint, and then B, how it impacts you as a player in terms of what kind of attention you might think you might get now from opposing teams without Christian next to you.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, it's one of those bittersweets. It's awesome. Loved playing with the guy, but I tell you, it's great seeing him get paid and go somewhere else and make an impact over there. But in reality, this defense and this D line isn't built off of just him or him and I or whoever inside. It takes a whole rotational front. It takes everybody up front. So it's been really cool getting to know getting to play with these new guys coming in and learning how their techniques and habits and how we can play off each other this year.
Speaking of Jonathan Harris and Neville Gallimore,
Yeah.
yeah,
Harris,
yeah,
Mortart, Benito's coming back. D Hand from last year, Peely, seeing him grow has been really cool.
thanks, Zach.
David?
Yeah. Hey, Zach. With Christian, was it something you saw coming the whole way? Were you surprised by it? What?
Honestly, I no idea. I mean, I was along for the ride. What I love is here. What I love is gone. Doesn't matter. It's what it is. It's the business, and hopefully, it has a great impact over there.
Cool, cool. And you noticed some of the new, or you mentioned some of the new defensive tackles. What are
Mhm.
your impressions from all those guys? Anything stand out from any of them?
Yeah, it's been great getting to know them. Some of those guys are really twitchy, active and with their feet, hands. Really kind of watching that, and then it's gonna be really cool as we go through OTAs with Coach Weaver, Clark, and all these guys, kind of learning how we grow together and build a really good defense this year.
So any of them standing out as applicants to be peppered to your salt?
I think there's a few, yes.
Thanks, man.
Omar?
Zach, what's it like for you being a guy who seventh round pick, um, joined an organization after being waived and now be viewed as sort of a cornerstone for a defensive line?
I really take pride in that. Obviously, there's a lot of guys that's happened to. Um, but to be in this position I'm at now is kind of just it's a blessing. And it's really something I don't take lightly. Make sure I set a good example and lead accordingly with the guys and just telling them, hey, look, anyone can get there. Trust me. I looked bad coming down here. My feet weren't right. My hands weren't right. Me and Clark talk about it all the time. And it was during COVID. We weren't in the building. So he couldn't correct me. We couldn't get things done as fast or as productively as we'd like. So just kind of working through those phases, it kind of really helps. Looking back on those times helped me just kind of realize like, hey, look, doesn't matter what it is, you work hard, you can make it.
And how is the baby, sir?
He's doing great. Him and mom are doing awesome. Everyone's healthy. It's been a blessing. Getting these schedules down and getting the OTAs again has been awesome. Family's coming down to help, so it's been a real blessing.
What's your shift?
I take the 4 to 6 window. Mama's taking the 1 to 3. I've been doing the 4 to 6. So I'll wake up, kind of get the dogs out, and then head into the work. So works out good. Been great.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Omar.
Joe?
Glad to hear the baby is doing well.
Thank you.
Okay, so your statistics are very similar to Christian Wilkins over the last 4 years in the areas of tackles, sacks, quarterback hits, and tackles for loss. Now that Christian has moved on, do you believe that you can do some of the things that Christian did, that you can elevate your game to some next step or next level?
I think with or without Christian, no matter what, that's the goal every year. So that's my plan. I don't care who's next to me. I'm gonna find a way to make it work. And we're gonna make it right.
From a leadership perspective, are you now the leader of the defensive front?
I'd say there's a few guys. We got Chubb, Jalen, myself, and I think it's something that we've built as a culture here, especially in our room as a D line. Is if you know the technique, even if you're not a starter, you're a leader. Like if you can help teach other guys technique, help view each other plays, like we're all in it together. We're all trying to make a living for our families, and so it's kind of something we all work on together.
You know, it's funny, we don't lump Chubb and Phillips with you guys. We call them edges.
They are
Do you
edges.
guys look at it differently? What do you get? Do you guys actually lump yourselves together?
How many of us rush the passer together? I'm going to stop the run together. It takes the whole front. So we do lump all of us together in the D line. Yeah, Jalen and Joe might be a little more athletic than us, but we're still D linemen.
Thanks, Zach. Get your sleep in now.
Thank you, guys.
Adam?
Who was more upset about Christian leaving, you or Hannah?
Oh man, she was super heartbroken too. She's a great friend there. And it's been a good few weeks kind of learning the new guys, working with Clark, and just growing together. It's going to be awesome. And yeah.
Related question, I guess, and unrelated in a way. Anthony Weaver, we haven't really gotten a chance to see his defense. Well, certainly we saw it in Baltimore and Houston, but not in Miami. Your understanding is how he uses defensive linemen, and how is it different than maybe some guys in the past?
We're still learning as early. It's been really cool to learn these couple of weeks, 3 weeks now, learning the system and kind of how he's working through, how we work through things, and his vision on how offenses attack us and his defense. It's been the last 3 years, it's been kind of different guys, and now it's just kind of growing as another step in the process. And it's been really incredible to see how he grows and just how he approaches the game, becoming an ex-player and coaching for so long and where he did. It's been really, really interesting.
Do you prefer playing one gap or two gap?
It depends. I like both. It depends on the style of offense we're going against, and it depends on the players we're going against. I think one thing that we always pride ourselves on is being multiple here. So if I can set the edge and play a really good one gap, or if I can kind of react attack and play both A and B gap, it's both a valuable asset either way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Chris?
Hey, Zach, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Hey, I'm doing something on the mental pressures that players could be under, especially lower round draftees right now, OTAs and during training camp. And, there's income differences between making it and not making it. You might have an ankle injury, the reps against the vets, learning a new system. What's going through your mind? How do you keep your mind clear and focused on achieving your NFL dream?
Yeah. Obviously it's a hard path. Not a lot of us make it, and it takes a long time. I mean, it took me 6-7 years to get to where I'm at. It's staying determined, and it's staying right, as in knowing, hey, look, I'm here for a reason. It might be hard. I might not have the best plays. I might be getting confused out there. The speed of the game's going crazy. It's just taking those times, watching those reps, watching the plays, watching the older guys, and just learning off of their techniques and habits. Especially coming as a rookie, a lot of guys think they were probably the best player in their college. I mean, most of those guys are. And you come into a place where you're now one of the lowest in the totem pole. It's humbling. It's got to kind of reestablish yourself and learn the game in a whole new light. Because a lot of these guys have been playing. I mean, when I came to Baltimore as a rookie, I was playing next to Terrell Suggs, Brandon Williams, Michael Pierce. Guys have been playing 6, 7, 16 years, and kind of learning how they view the game. So.
And let me ask you from a different perspective, if you're a vet, if you've been in the league 7 or 8 years, you're bouncing around, you've got a family that you've got to put food on the table for. Are the pressures any different? I know talk from that perspective also.
Yeah, I think there absolutely is different pressures, no matter where you're at in life. Obviously, if you have kids and a wife and a family, there's a whole nother level of stress there. I think one of my blessings as a rookie is I didn't have kids at that point, and so it was kind of just me. So if I wanted to, it was just, hey, what can I focus on myself? And a lot of those vets have all that extra pressure, and it's finding a way to work through those pressures and make sure that you can perform on Sundays and do the best you can every day.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
Yes, sir.
Travis?
Zach, what's up, man?
How you doing?
So the shift you talked about covering only spans 5 hours. Am I to understand that the baby is sleeping a good chunk on either end of those shifts?
No, we go to bed around 10 or 11.
That's pretty good, though. That's a pretty good chunk of sleep. Maybe I need to take some tips from you on how to get that done. My football question is, you talked a lot about Christian leaving, and you guys played so many reps on the interior together that you guys had such a good feel for what each other was going to do. I'm curious what your process is for trying to learn how to execute rush games with so many new guys.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of kind of what I hit on is learning the new players. Hey, how's he like to rush? What's he like to do? Is he a twitchy guy, a power guy, whatever? And learning how to play off each other and then adapting to that. And that's what it is. I mean, it's the NFL. Players go places. It's awesome to see him go and get paid where he's at. All the blessings to him. Love him. Just hope that he can strive on. Know he'll kill it out there. But now it's getting right over here in Miami.
Stuff. Thanks, Zach.
Yep.
Marcel?
Hey, Zach, I know you've gotten about 40 questions about Christian.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask about Christian, but
Yep.
he's not the only guy that is no longer on the team. You know, there's been a lot of turnover defensively and a new defensive coordinator. I'm curious, what is the process of, I guess, learning a new system like that? Like, at what point, what checkpoints do you expect things to be clicking for your team as a whole?
Yeah, I think kind of as we go through the installs, as we go through, okay, hey, I got these guys behind me, I got these guys next to me, I got this guy with me here. Learning how they play, who's the talkers, who's kind of quiets down, who's just kind of sitting there listening, or who's kind of trying to actively talk before each play and make the right checks and corrections, and then learn how to play off that. Learning how, hey, look, just kind of, and then also I think a big part of it, and that's what we pride ourselves on up front, is trying to somewhat anticipate what the coach is going to call, Coach Weaver's going to call. Like, okay, he's probably going to go to this front or this package against these guys who've been doing this week. Let's look at this, so you can anticipate and play with an edge instead of trying to respond.
And is it hard to learn new systems in back-to-back years like you guys are having to, or is it almost easier in a sense that, like, you only had 1 year in that system? It's not like it's been like a 4-year thing that you're having to unlearn.
You know, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. Yeah, if you keep playing the same system, you might be able to learn some more intricate details. But the same edge, new system, you're going to learn a new way of playing things. You're going to see shed a new light on how offenses can work, and you'll know, hey, look, if we call something similar to that, okay, hey, look, I've played that before. I know what that technique's like. So you have that hanged. So there's benefits to both ways, obviously.
Thanks.
Yep.
We have 2 final questions. We'll go to Alan and then Mark.
Hey, Zach, congrats on the baby.
Thank you.
My question deals with workload. Both you and Christian last year were in about the 85% range in terms of defensive snaps. How much do you think you might benefit from perhaps a slightly lesser workload, or do you think it makes no difference whatsoever?
I think it just depends on how we're feeling. Some teams it might benefit to play less, and some offenses might benefit to play less, and some offenses it might benefit to stay out there. The being out there, taking those kind of snaps, you get a nice groove. You get a feel for the offense, feel for the players you're going against, is kind of how the game's flowing, and you're part of it actively the whole time. And then obviously the flip side is, hey, look, take a couple plays off, you're more fresh, all that kind of stuff. But I think what I've always prided myself on is making sure that if I'm needed, I'm there and ready to play. And I think that's the whole goal of the NFL, is the availability is your best ability. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, as a quick follow-up, would you anticipate more of a rotational situation on the interior of the defensive line this season?
We're still, I mean, it's still early. I don't know how we're calling things yet or what it's going to look like. But like I said, I'm ready for anything.
Thanks, Zach.
Yes, sir.
Final question, Mark.
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. With the addition of Anthony Weaver at defensive coordinator, and his primary focus is mostly on the defensive line, how beneficial is it to have him come in this year, especially after these last 2 shortcomings in the postseason?
It's been it's really cool seeing him come in, and obviously him being a player, and then him coaching now and being such an upfront mind, is seeing how he views everything. What he likes in the run game, what he likes in the pass game, how he likes to attack things, or what his approach is. And then learning from him and kind of just seeing how it can make our game go to the next level.